So today I did wash my hair and it still looks crazy. It's in the process of drying. I like it better with the glasses off because I can't see so much. Well, these are some new readers. Well, I have my contacts in because I can't see even with my contacts in. Everybody always seems to know how to light themselves. I need to do like some master lighting class or some bullshit. Okay, I'm just reading a book. I'm gonna see what I'm doing. Siri. I can never get the fucking thing to work. Set timer 10 minutes. Go. Set timer. Set I don't understand why we have technology and it doesn't work. Grrr. Okay. Chapter 6. Same book I'm at. Chapter 6. My despair. Is that right? Why don't I see a... Well, okay, so they found the bottom of the well and Polyphemus's funnel. We're on page 230, chapter 6. My despair upon finding the pipe of the funnel too small for my body, a ray of hope breaks in upon me. Full account of how I succeed in entering the pipe of the funnel, my passage through it, Bulger's timely aid, the marble highway, and some curious things concerning the entrance to the world within a world. The rocky sides of Polyphemus's funnel were apparently as well polished as those of any tin funnel that I had ever seen hanging in the kitchen of Castle Trump. So making fast my tackle and taking Bulger in my arms, away we went sliding down the side with the line passed under my arm for safety's sake. It was nearly 100 feet to the bottom, for I had measured off the full length of my line before I had come to the apex of this gigantic cone. And not caring to tumble headlong down its pipe, I proceeded to light a taper and look about me. Ah, dear friends, I can feel that shudder now, so terrible it was, and what wonder, too, for a glance at the pipe of the funnel told me that it was too small to let my body pass through. The agonizing thought flashed through my mind that I had committed a terrible error, that I had mistaken some vast pit for the giant's well, that I had thrown Bulger's and my own life away in mad and unreasoning haste, that I should never reach the wonderful world within a world, and that there, in that thick gloom, must we lay our bodies and bones. Or, thought I, may not the learned master of masters, Don Fume, have made an error on himself in holding out the idea that the pipe of Polyphemus's funnel was large enough to admit the passage of a man's body? In my almost frenzy, I advanced to the mouth of the pipe, and lowering myself into it, let my body sink as far as it would. It caught at the shoulders, and after a careful examination, I was forced to reach the brain-racking conclusion that my faithful Bulger and I had traveled our last mile together. There was nothing for us to do but lay down and die. Lie down and die? Never. I had noticed in making the descent into the giant's well that its side had much the appearance of being walled around by blocks of stone. With Bulger strapped to my back, I would slowly climb up from the shelf to shelf. I would slowly climb up from shelf to shelf until my strength failed me, and then I would wait until I would slowly climb up from shelf to shelf until my strength failed me, and then I would wait until I thought old Juliana had come back to gather herbs, and possibly I might make her hear me. In my despair, I sighed and clutched my own arms, and as I did so, one of my hands came in contact with something cold and slippery, having the feel of tallow. Taking a pinch of the substance between my thumb and finger, I rubbed it thoughtfully for a moment, and then a ray of hope broke through the awful gloom that enshrouded me so piteously. It was black lead. There could be no doubt about it. It had made its way through a crack or crevice in Polyphemus's funnel, and I had rubbed it off in sliding down the side. With this greasy material to rub on the inside of the pipe to the funnel, and also to besmear myself with, mayhap I might yet slip into the world within a world. At any rate, I determined to make the trial, even if I left some of my skin on the flinty rock. In order to collect my thoughts thoroughly, and that I might proceed step by step in that systematic order so characteristic of all my wonderful exploits, I sat down, and putting my arm around dear Bulger's neck and drawing him up against me, I communed with myself for a good half hour. Before Her Majesty Galaxa, Queen of the Mikaminkeys, or I don't know. Then all was in readiness for action, and to prove you, dear friends, how careful Bulger was not to interrupt my train of thought, I have to report to you that although a small animal of the rat family came out of the crevice in the rock while I sat there thinking, as I could see by the light of my tiny wax taper, and I had the temerity first to sniff at Bulger's tail, and then to give it a playful nip, yet the sagacious animal never budged a hair's breadth. Mind hath ordered, now let hands obey, I exclaimed, as I sprang up and began stripping off my outer garments. This done, I clambered up the side of the funnel and began to collect a supply of the black lead, which I deposited near the opening of the pipe. The next thing to do was to get Bulger through the pipe ahead of me. To this end, I tied him up in my clothing, bag fashion, and began to lower away. Stop, I can hear you. He's looking at me like, what the fuck? See, I don't know that I miss my old ones. My hair is wet and I'm trying to give it some sort of movement. After paying out 65 or 70 feet of line, he struck bottom, and by his loud barking gave me to understand that it was all right, that I might make the descent myself. Upon hearing his voice, I gave the line a few sharp tugs. He was not slow to comprehend my meaning, and in a moment or so had not only scrambled out of the bag himself, but pulled my clothing loose, so that I might draw the line up again. My next step was to contrive a way to weight myself when the moment arrived to begin the descent, for I felt sure that I never should be able to arrange it so as to slip through the pipe unless something was pulling at my heels. Cutting off about 10 feet of the rope, I made fast one end of the piece to a long piece of rock weighing about 100 pounds. This I laid near the mouth of the pipe, ready for use. But now came the most difficult thing of all. It was to draw my shoulders in on my breast and lash them securely in that position, by which plan I expected to reduce my width by at least 2 good inches. These 2 inches thus gained, or rather lost, might be the means by which I would be able to slip through the pipe of Polyphemus's funnel, reach the vast underground passage leading to the world within a world. Putting a noose around my chest just below my collarbone, I drew my shoulders in as tight as I could bear and changed the slip knot into a hard one. Then, having made the other end of the line fast to the side of the funnel, I proceeded to wind myself up, as the housewives often do, a big sausage to keep it from bursting. I proceeded to wind myself up as the housewives often do, a big sausage to keep it from bursting. This done, I set about rolling in the black lead until I was thoroughly smeared with it. There was now but one more thing to do before dropping myself into the pipe, and that was to make fast the weight to my feet. It was no easy task, wound up as I was, with my arms lashed down against my body, but by the use of slip knots I finally accomplished the feat, and sitting down my legs into the pipe and drew a long breath, for I felt as if I was skewered up in a straitjacket. Life is strange, you know? Sorry, silence isn't generally what you're looking for. Technology, you gotta love it, you gotta hate it. And my grandma a while back got a new tablet, and so I took over the one she had and gave my oldest one, to my best friend's daughter. And the other day on my grandma's, the one that I had gotten from her, something came through about a new phone and new messages, and I didn't know what it was talking about. But I guess I'm now getting her text messages on this tablet. Like text messages to her phone. And there was a text message that just came through from my parents to her about something. It doesn't matter, because quit procrastinating on anything and everything. Time wasted is just that, wasted. Avoid distractions and the noise around me. Block it out. The art of continuous self-love through food, through water intake, through intentional meditation and thought. Something inside of me is superior to circumstance. Is it kind? Is it true? Does it reflect my authentic self? Focus more on money and its education. I haven't even been paying attention to what I'm reading, because I'm thinking about that fucking text. Quit procrastinating on anything and everything. Time wasted is just that, wasted. Avoid distractions and the noise around me. block it out. The art of continuous self-love through food, through water intake, through intentional meditation and thought. Something inside of me is superior to circumstance. Is it kind? Is it true? Does it reflect my authentic self? Focus more on money and its education. Focus more on self-discipline. See the sun, honor the moon, forward momentum. The path out of hell is through misery. Honor my journey. We are slaves to our own incessant urges to escape the present moment. Meditate, walk, journal, stretch, love animals, leave life to wander all it needs. Less stress, more fairy tale. Work on bettering the love I show my body through the food and beverage I put in it. With money, it's not what you make, but what you keep. Focus. Lose any ties to victim mentality. Continue to help yourself. Focus. Lose any ties to victim mentality. Continue to help yourself. I wrote this that, like, I was keeping it's one of those pandas. I love them. Panda journals, panda planners. And at the end of that year, which had been a really hard year, I think it was like 2019 maybe. So my first year, full year single, and in the house on Olive. And when that journal panda planner was over, one day I had time and I sat down and I wrote down all the things that stuck out to me. And they were all things that I had been feeling anyway. Life is all about adapting and adjusting. Oh, I miss my glasses. I don't know what happened to them. My readers. Okay, anyway, I think that's it. Peace.